Back in the early 2010s, before Michael B. Jordan became a fitness icon thanks to movies like Creed and Black Panther, he was just another talented young actor in reasonable shape. But after a year and a half of following an insane but seriously flawed training and diet plan, he managed to get ripped to play the young up-and-coming boxer Adonis Creed. So what made his training and diet plan so questionable? Did he use steroids for this transformation? And will you get results if you train like Michael B. Jordan did for Creed? Well, I'm Paris Demers, a full-time personal trainer and online coach, and I'm going to be answering all these questions as I break down Michael B. Jordan's training for Creed. And at the end of the video, I'll provide you with a full training plan based off of his style of training so you can get results yourself. This is part one of a series where I'll be covering Michael B. Jordan's training for the Creed movies and for Black Panther. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss out. Michael B. Jordan's training for Creed technically started during his preparation for the role of Johnny Storm in 2014's Fantastic Four. This is where Michael B. Jordan would start working with his trainer, Corey Calliet, who he still trains with to this day. So Corey was called in to train the cast of Fantastic Four, and when he met Michael B. Jordan, they connected instantly. This is what Corey had to say about their meeting. When I met Michael B. Jordan on the set of Fantastic Four, he had never really trained like that before, and so I bulked him up to get ready for the movie. Of course, being with someone every single day, we became friends and like family really fast. So naturally, once filming for the movie was over, Michael B. Jordan didn't want his training with Corey to end. So when it was time to start preparing for Creed, Michael B. Jordan called Corey up and asked him to come to LA to keep training him. Once in LA, they had a year and a half to get Michael into fighting shape. So what did that year and a half of training and dieting look like? Well, here's how Michael described it himself.
Training for this one was very intense. I had the luxury of time, which really helped out a lot because I didn't have to like cram in like 4 or 5 months to try to like, get ripped. It all starts with diet, honestly. No sugar, bread, dairy,
So you went like that
cheese,
whole clean living thing. You did the whole
grilled
thing.
chicken, broccoli, brown rice, a lot of water, 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week. Worked out 2 to 3 times a day. It was intense.
So it's the classic Hollywood routine of overtraining and eating nothing but chicken, broccoli, and rice. We'll go into his workouts later, but first I'm going to explain why you should never follow this classic chicken, broccoli, and rice diet that so many celebrities credit for them getting into amazing shape. Here are the top 3 reasons why you should never follow this diet model. 1. This classic Hollywood chicken, broccoli, and rice diet, which usually includes other things like oats, sweet potatoes, protein shakes, and egg whites, is incredibly deficient in one of the 3 major macronutrients, and that's fat. Unfortunately, there's this myth that eating fat will make you fat. And while fat does contain more calories per gram than the other 2 micronutrients, there's nothing magical about it that'll make you put on fat unless eaten in excess. In fact, eating healthy fats actually helps keep you full for longer, making it easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit if used correctly. And on top of this, scientists have found that eating a diet deficient in fat can actually lead to lower levels of testosterone in men. 2. The broccoli, chicken, and rice diet lacks variety, and if you follow it for long enough, you'll find yourself deficient in very important micronutrients. And 3, because this diet model is needlessly restrictive and bland, it's very difficult to adhere to in the long term. The secret to getting into and staying in great shape is finding a training and diet plan that you can actually see yourself following for the rest of your life. Because unlike a celebrity preparing for a role, normal people like you and me want to get in shape and stay in shape forever, not just for long enough to shoot one shirtless scene. Maybe you can force yourself to eat nothing but chicken, broccoli, and rice for a short time, but you'll find much more long-term success following a diet plan where you focus on getting a balance of macro and micronutrients by eating a variety of tasty, satisfying whole foods. So aside from his chicken, broccoli, and rice diet, Michael's trainer also had Michael completely cut out sugar, dairy, and bread. Aside from the one cheat day he allowed Michael every weekend, starting Saturday at 7 p.m. and ending on Sunday at 7 p.m. Now let's see what Michael B. Jordan's training looked like for Creed, and make sure to stick around till the end of the video where I'll be providing you with a full training plan based off of Michael B. Jordan's training for Creed. So as you heard from Michael himself earlier in the video, for a year and a half, he would train 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week. This is an insane amount of training volume, but before we judge, we got to take a look at what those 2 to 3 training sessions were broken down into. And thanks to this article in Men's Journal, we have all the details we need. So every day he trained, he would do 45 to 60 minutes of interval training, sprint work, plyometric drills, and jump rope for cardio, 3 hours of boxing work where you would hit the heavy bag, speed bag, mitts, and do more jump rope. And then 4 days a week, Michael would get into the gym to crush some classic bodybuilding workouts. And finally, every other day, he would do an ab workout with things like crunches, leg raises, and sit-ups. So that's probably one of the most insanely high volume programs I've ever covered on this channel. If we add everything together, Michael was doing around 31 hours of intense exercise every week. Not only will doing this much volume put you at serious risk of getting injured and overtraining, but it's also just unnecessary and counterproductive. You don't get stronger and build muscle while you're working out. Your body does it while you're resting, recovering, and adapting from the stress of the workout. This means that it's only worth training as much as your body can recover from. And there are very few natural lifters that can properly recover from 31 hours of serious training a week. And while this training program clearly worked to get Michael B. Jordan into amazing shape, there's always the chance that he was taking PEDs on the down low, and that Michael and his trainers were simply just exaggerating the amount of volume and intensity in the program to help to promote the film. The reason I'm pointing out how ridiculous Michael B. Jordan's training and diet were for Creed is because I don't want people to watch the interviews and coverage of the movie and think that they need to only eat lean protein, rice, and broccoli and work out 31 hours a week to get fit, because that's just not the case, and it can really be damaging and discouraging for people. So instead, here's a much more reasonable program that you should be following if you want to look like Michael B. Jordan. It's a 4-day-a-week circuit training program designed to get you lean and muscular. So write that down and go watch my video on how to lose fat without losing muscle, because it will tell you exactly what you need to do while following your new program. I'll see you there.